Hello, Jermaine. Hello, Jermaine.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the sunny Kajigong Valley. Well, not too sunny today, but at least it's not 10 degrees, blowing a gale and raining hailstones like it was on Sunday. You can see countryside's pretty rugged, lots of vines and trees, this wonderful fertile valley in the middle, and down the end of the valley, right there in the distance, is the town of Mudgee. About 9,000 people. That's where Liz and I have spent the last 4 weeks. So let's take a quick look. One of the first things you notice about Mudgee is it's got a real cafe culture. In this strip of shops there's about 10 cafes. I was looking at one day, it looked great. It was set back off the street, nice and quiet, al fresco chairs and tables under trees. Looked excellent. Very sophisticated, quite European almost. Poked my head in and perched atop their delicate Parisian chairs, sipping their lattes, were 4 big, burly, bearded blokes having a yarn about shooting stuff. Well, that's what Mudgee's like, I reckon. There's the sort of sophisticated wine and cafe types, and they just live alongside the tough as nails mountain men and the miners, and they just seem to get along okay. I guess the gospel's got something to say to both groups, doesn't it? Mudgee's tourism slogan talks about sensory perfection. You know, come to Mudgee and experience the best life has to offer. But the gospel reminds us that food's for the stomach and the stomach's for food, but God will destroy them both. There's something more than just good food and wine. And I guess to the miners who work hard and play hard and spend hard, doesn't Jesus say that a man's life does not consist in the abundance of his possessions? So the culture of Mudgee is the first thing you notice. The second thing you notice is the prominence of big old church buildings in the town. Built in the mid-19th century, they're big and they're bold, and even the Prezi Church has a big old building. So at first glance you'd think Mudgee's doing pretty well for churches. But there aren't many places where the Bible's taught. Aren't many places where you'd hear the gospel explained in a way that it would be familiar to a Sydney evangelical. In fact, Mudgee's a place that's crying out for a faithful, stable, Bible-teaching church. So what about the Prezis, you might ask? Well, over the last few years, the Prezi Church here has really struggled. Thankfully, that time seems to be over. Things are starting to turn around and come good again. There's a tremendous potential for God's kingdom to grow in Mudgee. The church is small, but growing in faith and growing in numbers. The town's growing as new mines open up. And as Liz and I leave here and head back to Des Moines, our prayer is that the potential would be realised, that many people in this town would be saved, and that God would work to bring them to faith and repentance and the sort of holy living which pleases Him.